Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to 2CTV, your global news channel. A huge scandal has hit both the British government and the Irish government at the same time. The mainstream media are not necessarily talking about this. The newspapers have been forced to actually report this, but they've done it at the weekend. They've done it on a Sunday, and at the time where Parliament is not sitting, hoping that this story is not gonna actually become a big headache. Of course, over the last few hours, we have received more information about this huge scandal that goes directly to the heart of Downing Street and Keir Starmer's premiership. And of course, there has been some reaction on social media, and the opposition obviously calling for Keir Starmer's resignation and his chief of staff. We're going to give you guys the latest update on this. We have the evidence for you guys and all the names that are linked to this scandal, as the top advisor to Keir Starmer is connected, and his family connected to the people smuggling and illegal migration, benefiting from illegal migration. Before we start, today, Sunday, the 3rd of August, is your final chance, final day to book your tickets and places for our upcoming new media conference, which will be in London on the 9th of August, next Saturday. 2cevents.tv. Get all the information there on the website. This is the last day. We've just basically run out of tickets. There's a few left that we are going to be giving you guys. All right, first things first, everything goes back to the chief of staff, the controversial chief of staff to Keir Starmer. Now, if you're watching this, we're going to get your reaction in the live chat shortly. The guy you see on the left-hand side is Morgan McSweeney. He's the chief of staff to the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. He is behind, well, he was joined initially to do a crackdown on the small boats crisis, the illegal migration wave. Then we discovered that the British government somehow is spending more time and money to crack down on those who are criticizing the government. Wonder why? Well, this has now been exposed by both the Mail on Sunday and Telegraph. Everybody's now confirmed this, that Morgan McSweeney's father, Tim McSweeney, who is an accountant in County Cork in the Republic of Ireland, he helped set up a company, not his accountancy, a different company, that received £6 million from the Irish government to house illegal migrants. So that company benefited. The evidence that we have, he incorporated this company, that you can see at the bottom of the page, in February 2023. Tim and his wife Carmel are the only directors and is registered in the same address as his accountancy firm. Now, this company leads via two other Irish shell companies, both of them linked to McSweeney, to a web of Cyprus-registered companies offshore. Now, when McSweeney was asked how he became involved, he said, this is the quote, "It's nobody's business." They receive massive funds, 8.4 million euros, in order to help illegal migrants. The money came from the taxpayer, by the way, obviously. But that's not the only issue. Not necessarily Morgan or Tim, his father. The whole family seemed to be a little bit messed up, because we've discovered that Morgan McSweeney, the chief of staff to Keir Starmer, his cousin Claire, is a special advisor to the Deputy Prime Minister in Ireland, Simon Harris, and she's behind the crackdown on Irish patriots who speak out against illegal migration. Now, both in Ireland and Britain, we have had a number of new policies in terms of crackdown on those patriots, both in Britain and Ireland, who are speaking out against illegal migration. We're going to give you some information, some new information about new measures that are being used and using technology to find out more about the protesters, let's just say. But this whole crisis continues. And as I said, the fact that this story came out, confirmed by newspapers, nobody in the broadcast media is talking about this. It's happening on Sunday, slow news day. Nobody's sitting in Parliament in Westminster. Perfect timing for this story to come out, because nobody's going to be holding it to account. But of course, the opposition parties and politicians are already speaking out on social media. Having said that, the crisis is getting worse. Downing Street is not addressing the real crisis, including the fact that it's now also been confirmed that 2 Afghan illegal migrants have now been charged over the alleged sexual assault and rape of a 12-year-old girl in Warwickshire. 12-year-old girl. Now, the information we have, we do have the names of the suspects. Ahmad Mulakhil, who's 23, has been charged, targeting a young girl in Nottington. And a second man is Mohammed Kabir, also 23, charged with aiding and assisting this. Now, they also allegedly kidnapped the girl, who is now receiving special care. Now, again, the newspapers have been, well, they had no other choice but to report this. No statement, no real urgency from the government, from the Home Office, from the Ministry of Justice, nothing, absolutely nothing. Because they are hoping that, well, Parliament is not sitting, so we could just get away with it. Just an isolated incident. Well, 2CTV and other new media outlets, we are getting now better ratings than the mainstream broadcast media. If they think that the news is not going to get out there, well, it's too late because it is getting out there. More people will be finding this. Now, one local person in Warwickshire did contact the Mail on Sunday, accused the police in Warwickshire of a cover-up, again, in an effort to suppress information which the public have a right to know. According to the witness speaking to the Mail, he said that the police feared that the cities in Warwickshire would face a similar violent protest that took place outside the Migrant Hotel in Epping, Essex. This, obviously, a few weeks ago. Started, still ongoing. Because even in Epping, we had accusations of illegal migrants doing similar things, crimes, harassing a young girl. Having said that, the Labour government in Britain are more concerned about doing a crackdown on those who want to speak out. Everybody's far right, everybody is a thug, and the police will have to spend more time and money hunting you down to arrest you. The evidence we now have is that the Labour government will be targeting anti-migrant protesters across the UK using a terrorist tracking software. So these tools that were created by the National Security and Online Information Team, or the NSOIT, were originally developed to hunt down terrorists. That was the point of this. But now the secretive team have been tasked to find critics of the migrant hotels. If you speak out against it, they're going to find out more information about you. They're going to be able to hunt you down because you are more of a threat to the state, to the public, than the actual foreign criminals who have crossed the border illegally. You see the problem? Having said that, the leader of the Warwickshire Council has written a letter to the Home Office, the Home Secretary, as well as the Chief Constable of Warwickshire Police. George Finch said, I am writing to you concerning the dreadful incident of the 12-year-old girl who was raped in Nottington on the 22nd of July. As you will know, the alleged perpetrator is an asylum seeker who currently lives in a HMO, basically a migrant hotel. An article published by the local media outlet Warwickshire World on the 29th of July provided the name of the man who has been charged in connection with this crime. That's Ahmed Mulakhil. This has caused the unease locally as residents have very easily been able to join the dots together and have concluded that this man is an asylum seeker. Residents of Warwickshire can see that they have not been told the full story. Again, cover up. Further to this, police have also obviously charged a second man, that's Mohammed Kabir, who has been accused of kidnapping, strangulation, and aiding and abetting. Again, when it comes to the same 12-year-old girl, I have been informed by the CEO of the Warwickshire County Council that Mr. Kabir is also an asylum seeker living in an HMO. This is a gravely concerning development. If these accusations turn out to be true, it indicates that organized crime centering around the abuse of young girls is present in Warwickshire. This is unacceptable. In light of this development, I am calling on the Home Office to immediately remove and rehouse all asylum seekers currently living within Warwickshire. Our community has had enough of the Home Office breaking planning regulations to turn sections of the local communities into unrecognizable ghetto-like zones. So obviously it's the correct thing to do on behalf of people in Warwickshire. And the leader of the council is correct to do this. The only problem is, and this is not really their fault, the leader of the council in Warwickshire, his interest is his residents and constituents. But the solution is just rehouse them somewhere else in the country. Now, as somebody who believes in decentralization and localism rather than centralization of politics, I can still say this problem is not really a local issue. It's a central issue. It's a national issue. Which means, while I fully support the Warwickshire leader to, for now, prioritize his constituents, just get them out of Warwickshire, anybody who is in frontline politics, especially obviously Reform UK council leaders, and some of the Tories who are still relatively conservative in local councils, not the National Party, instead of just saying rehouse them in a different constituency or county, everybody should come together and basically say, not in our country, deport them, rather than rehouse them in a different area, just say deport them. Everybody should get behind that narrative. Anyway, they finished the letter by saying, I believe my first duty as leader of the Warwickshire County Council is to be protection of all my residents, and I still agree. And maintaining social order is a key component of this task. The continued cover-up of the true nature of Ahmad Mulakhil's immigration status risks public disorder breaking out on the streets of Warwickshire. The same detail has been covered up today concerning Mohammed Kabir. I am disgusted that 1 year on from the social unrest that we saw in parts of the UK in 2024, the Home Office and the police have clearly not learned any lessons from handling of the similar incidents last year. I strongly believe that the only risk to public order from this case in Warwickshire comes from the cover-up itself. I actually agree. Having my ear to the ground locally, it is clear that there is a much appetite for protests to take place across the county. Let me be clear, I do not want to see protests taking place outside migrant hotels and HMOs in Warwickshire, nor do I want to see any form of violent disorder. Our police have much more important things to deal with. They do not need the mass disruption to local policing which would follow from the commencement of any protests. In the interest of transparency with the public and in the interest of ensuring public order on Warwickshire streets, I urge both the Home Secretary and the Chief of Warwickshire Police to release the currently omitted details of Ahmad and Mohammed's immigration status. So, okay, once again, I agree with George Finch. The only other issue is George Finch needs to know we still live in a democracy. He's correct to say he doesn't want to see violent disorder. Cool. But he doesn't need to say, I don't want to see protests. Protests are a legal and democratic right. You might be council leader, but you're also an elected official. And as a representative of the public, you are absolutely right, and you have every right, to actually call for a protest. As long as it's democratic and peaceful, absolutely. Not violent disorder, but you can actually be fine with a protest. But the fact that he's so scared, they're all so scared, even the politicians who are still technically on the side of the people, they're all terrified of what could happen to them. So he's saying, well, I'm not even in favor of any sort of protests. Protests are fine. Peaceful democratic protests are fine. Having said that, the issue continues, and today as we speak, we have a protest outside the Britannia International Hotel in Canary Wharf. And the Canary Wharf, obviously, which is a very kind of middle-class, young professional area in London, although it's right next to the rest of Tower Hamlet, which is a completely ghetto zone, they did the exact same thing. If you notice what the council leader said, Warwickshire, he said, his priority, I still agree, get them out of Warwickshire, rehouse them somewhere else. Well, that's exactly what they did from Epping. They moved them because people in Epping protested outside the Bell Hotel. They moved them to the Britannia Hotel, thinking that's going to be fine. Now people in Britannia, outside Britannia, in Canary Wharf, are protesting, and they are not your typical, as the media will call, far-right football hooligans. In fact, today, we have our 2CTV reporter on the ground. I'm going to go show you the report we have so far. More videos are coming in. It's young professionals, families, women, and children. In fact, Women's March, and they're all wearing pink. It's very peaceful. It's very lovely. But they've still brought out their Union flags and St. George's flags because they believe in the country. You can't call them some sort of skinhead football hooligan. The majority are women. They are out there protesting. This solution of moving them from one place to another is not working anymore. Let's go to Canary Wharf.
Maybe it's because I'm a Londoner that I think about wherever I go. I get a funny feeling inside.
That's the hotel. Look, you can see the illegal migrants going in.
他们就进去了吗？
Everyone's had enough. Enough is enough. Stop the boats. Brilliant. And more people are going now. Special thanks to our 2CTV reporter for being on the ground. Nyak is now also there. We are getting more footage coming in from Nyak. Apparently the police now are outside on the ground. Let me just quickly, the videos are coming in fast, by the way, so I'm going to try and get this all for you ready. Okay, while we wait for that, let's just get some reaction from you guys. Nyak is sending us more videos from outside Britannia. Also, big thank you. We've now reached 1,155,000 subscribers, thanks to your support. PC says, Maya, I saw more proof, no starvation in Gaza except the hostages. There's a lot of evidence now exposing the lies. Let's say, as I said last night, the UK is sunk. The UK and the Republic of Ireland, let's not forget. We haven't had any reaction from the Irish government, by the way, about the scandal I mentioned. It's absolutely, I mean, I wasn't expecting any reaction from the UK government, but I would have thought that at least the Irish would have kicked off. Nope, no, absolutely not. Okay, so what's going on here? All right, so we're going to move this quickly for you guys. Right, we have the latest. It's coming. What's going on? All right, let's go. Let's go.
So, as you see here, front of hotel. Very peaceful protest. Very peaceful officers. Everything is here peacefully. And yeah, I will update you.
Yeah, people seem to have calmed down now. That's good.
Something happened. Let me just show you what's going on. Yeah.
If you just joined us now, that's Canary Wharf outside the Britannia International
Very
Hotel.
small. The protests are local actually, people. Yeah. Front of Britannia Hotel, the International.
The migrants are now inside. Look at the number of police officers. Well done, everyone. Yeah, more clips will be coming in from Niak. Someone said, I saw a video of them arriving and each of them had a large brown envelope. Yeah, obviously we reported that on 2CTV last night. Those were the documentation that the Home Office have given them, because of course they don't have any ID when they arrive, because they get rid of them on the English channel. So the Home Office will have to give them the basic information. Any name that they could come up with, age, they have to basically self-identify, and where they came from. They could just make it up, and the Home Office will write it down, give it to them in that document. Okay. Benjamin says that the only way out of this is to stop the economy. Stop the economy. All stay at home safely until resolved. No protest, no reform, no other will. I think yeah, that's basically a different way of saying general strike. Obviously, it will bring down the country, but yeah. Star Helix says, if the Home Office is aware of the demographics causing these atrocities, why on earth do they continue to import the problem? They are complicit. That's the answer, Star Helix. They are complicit. And Boba says, call your interest police, they're the snooper squad. Yep. Janet, actually, what's it? Women and children, not far-right thugs. Yes, but then somebody said, I just saw a comment. Janet says, please, people, don't take your children to a protest. Even a peaceful protest can suddenly turn. You are putting your child in a dangerous... It's not, no. I mean, for those who are familiar with these type of protests, and we've been to many of these type of protests, nothing happens. It's peaceful, it's fine. Just a bunch of pink mothers with their children. And mothers are extremely, extremely powerful and resilient when it comes to protecting their children, I can assure you. If something is about to happen, every single mother over there who's brought their child, oh, they know how to protect the child. So do not underestimate the power of mothers. They are not stupid. Anyway, obviously, yeah, don't take your children to riots. That's not a good idea. But a peaceful democratic protest, which is for women and children, it's fine. More clips are coming in from Niak. All right, let's see what's going on. I'll get some reaction from the members of 2CTV Plus as well. But let's quickly... This is not easy. Multitasking is not easy. All right. Let's just show you this. I think they brought in some banners and signs. It's actually quite fun. So we are not far right. All right, let's get ready for the next clip coming from our reporter on the ground. Let's go to Canary Wharf again. Jack Hatfield's there.
Thank you so much. Honestly, it's the biggest pleasure to go around the United Kingdom for local residents to form a platform for me to speak. And honestly, I'll give you this for free. Regardless of what my responses by the police will prevent, I will continue to go around the United Kingdom to prevent hotels like this to house illegal asylum migrants.
the next one, I think.
Hotels in the very cusp of the morning to make sure that independent journalists wouldn't see the mass amount of men coming into this hotel here. We here reviewed the footage and how many men compared to women and children who were genuine asylum applicants were actually in the coaches which took them to these hotels. I see more women here than any asylum hotel that I've been across the United Kingdom. Because right now, in areas like this, hotels are now being transitioned into male-only accommodation. So it seems very obvious that the people that we're taking in as an island nation is predominantly composed of male economic
Bob,
migrants
the young Bob.
who traditionally go back to the countries they're fleeing from holiday.
That's the young Bob, for those who are familiar. He was recently attacked by some left-wing hipsters in Camden. Okay, so I think there's a couple of comments from the members of 2CTV Plus. Let's just quickly go to them as well. Obviously, if you want to be a member, go on 2c.tv and join us today and download the 2CTV app. Pete says, the thing is, if we get rid of Keir Starmer, we get lumbered by that stupid bimbo, Angela Rayner. Yeah, but temporarily, because there will have to be a leadership election. So if you were more of a presidential system, where the vice president will automatically become president, yeah, that would be a problem. But there will have to be an election. But what Pete says still could happen because Angela Rayner has a lot of support amongst the Labour Party membership. So if there is an election, actually she could win. It will be between her and Wes Streeting, and because Wes Streeting is more of a blurite and he's fighting against the trade unions, especially when it comes to the healthcare and the NHS, I don't think he's going to get the votes right now. Pork says the amount of corruption in the Labour Party is crazy and yet no accountability. Well, both the Labour Party and Fine Gael in Ireland, because let's not forget that Simon Harris's advisor, cousin to Morgan McSweeney, Chief of Staff to Starmer, Simon Harris is part of Fine Gael. I literally said on the British Stand earlier today that it wouldn't surprise me if it came out that someone in the UK are behind a lot of the smugglers. Yeah, but they're just benefiting from it. They see a lot of good opportunities to make money. These are the same type of people who benefited a lot from the lockdown and COVID. You know, all the neighbours to government ministers, best friends to Matt Hancock, and the best men to people's weddings. Somebody who knew somebody. Everybody benefited. Everybody had these fake companies to sell face masks to the government. This is appalling. Starmer and the others have to be prosecuted for treason and nothing else will do. Don't enable him to wiggle out of this. Sick to the stomach. Yes, I agree. I think we have more updates coming from NIAC. Let's just see what is going on over there in Canary Wharf. And what is going on with... There we go, it's coming. Right. Well, that comes. Someone else says, this is appalling. Why do they hate its citizens so much? They take voters for granted, essentially. That's the main reason. And they think then they could get away with anything as long as they could distract you with other shiny things. All right, so let's go to the next video from Niak Borbani.
Now, a quick statistic for you. 78% of Somalians claim housing benefits. 86% of migrants that come here via work visa are net receivers and not net givers.
Now, let's quickly go back to you lovely humans. I'm going to see what happens over there in Canary Wharf. We got another super chat saying we need to out all these property developers and landlords who are profiting from HMOs. Yeah, I mean, there's if you do a proper investigation, there's a lot of people who should still be investigated. Not necessarily just those who are directly benefiting, but there's a lot of people who are indirectly benefiting. For example, the allegedly McSweeney's family and her father and her mother and his mother, both of them are the co-directors of this new company that was made since 2023, because that's when the migrant hotels were accelerating. There's a lot of other people who assisted these people. So everybody should be investigated. But the thing is, they're not going to be investigated. That's the reality. Who's going to do it? Hopefully Labour won't live out their full term in government. And Pork says you cannot move the problem from one place to another. It needs removing completely. Yep. Great to see the ladies out raising concerns. Also in pink. Love it. It's so good. Anyway, as I said, don't forget to download the 2CTV app, the home of geopolitical news from your app stores today on your phone, and join 2CTV Plus to get access to all our documentaries and everything else that we have. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maya 2C, and we are the media.